Our next game is Jets-Bills. Now, I've spoken a lot on these, Zach Wilson in particular. I am a major fan of Josh Allen. And for a long time, I have noticed that he was turnover prone. But like everyone else, I overlooked it. Why? Because his team was constantly in the playoffs and he was constantly putting them in a position to win. Now, Trayvon Diggs, brother of Bills receiver Stephon Diggs. Trayvon is also starting cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. He's currently out for the season with the ACL injury. Trayvon Diggs hopped on social media talking about what was Josh Allen doing before Stephon Diggs got there. Before Stephon Diggs got there, Josh Allen had no true number one receiver. The year before Stephon Diggs got there, 2019, John Brown was the receiver on the Bills who went over 1,000 yards. John Brown is currently a free agent in the NFL. The year before that, do you know who the Bills' 1,000-yard receiver was? They didn't have one. Josh Allen, that was Josh Allen's rookie year. He threw for just over 2,000 yards. We've come into this realm now where we're talking Josh Allen or Dak Prescott. That's a question I'll pose to you, the viewing audience. Football world, football TikTok, football Instagram, football social media, whatever you want to label yourself as. However you come across this video. If you are in an NFL front office and someone asks you, we have a decision to make at quarterback. Regardless of how you do it, whether you sign him, re-sign, trade for him, are we going to go with Dak Prescott or Josh Allen? You tell me, to lead your franchise to a Super Bowl, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. Don't give me who's their supporting cast, what's around them. Because if you're that dude, you're going to make it happen. Mahomes made it happen. He won a Super Bowl without Reek. Yeah, he still had Kelsey, but that's what he had, Kelsey. And Pacheco was just coming into his own at that time, but he was damn good as well. We can't forget that. So forget the supporting cast. Let's put forward their greatness. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. Who you with? In this game, the Jets versus the Bills, I'll tell you what. I will never, as much as I've come on my own channel and picked Zach Wilson and the Jets to rise to the occasion and win a game, I will never. I watched them beat the Eagles. I picked them to win that game. I will never pick the Jets to rise to the occasion again after how they looked against the Chargers. I will never forget that. Zach Wilson, his confidence has been up and down this year, as has his play. And I don't expect that to change. He has shown that, at best, he's a game manager. He can get you up and down the field if he's got a solid running back and receiving core around him. Guys who can actually catch the ball. He barely has that, with the exception of maybe Garrett Wilson and Randall Cobb if he can get him the ball. And Conklin, can't forget Tyler Conklin. He's out there hustling every play. As a CJ Uzomah, there I go. Zach Wilson has options. They're not the best options, but any other quarterback would be doing a lot better than you, Zach, and they'd be a lot more consistent. That's just a fact of the matter. You played well against the Eagles. You played well against the Giants. You played well against nobody else after that. The Bills, the first win of the season, it was a shock. The Bills didn't even think they were going to have to see Zach Wilson. And what happened? They had to see him. And he snuck up on him and beat him. And now the Bills are coming to avenge that loss. I'm not counting out that Jets defense. They're going to try to win you every game they can within their power. And that defense got a lot of power. But the Bills have shown they can be had. Starting the season with their loss to the Jets. They lost to the Jags. They lost to the Patriots. They lost to the Bengals in Week 9. And last week they lost to the Broncos. So the Bills ain't rising to the challenge either. They're not rising to the challenge. If they're not expected to beat you, they ain't beating you. You look at their win against the Dolphins, 48-20. Yeah, but that's also a divisional game, and these teams have been together for a little bit, so they're kind of familiar with each other. You get what you get in a divisional game. This isn't going to be a blowout by any means. It's going to be hard fought. I think the defense that the Jets have is going to have to be the reason they win this game. I want to say Zach Wilson can try to manage this game and try to keep the Jets out of harm's way. But honestly, after that Chargers game, I'm pretty traumatized. And then the Raiders, down the stretch in the Raiders game, Zach, you had chances to win that game. And I know it's not all on you, and I'm not expecting you to be great. But if I'm not mistaken, you did throw an interception down the stretch. And you did get the ball back. The offensive line is bad enough in New York. They're not consistent either. That's a big part of his problem. We've seen in some of the wins when Zach has had to manage the game, when he's had time to throw the ball, at least throw the ball at least 5 yards. Give the receivers time to get out of their breaks. Give Zach time to go through his progressions. At least give him time to get to the first progression. God damn. Like the Raiders, I don't know what else to say. Josh Allen, he is who he is. He's gonna get you. He'll be a guy to throw for 450 in a game. He'll get you 3 touchdowns. But don't be surprised ever if there's 2 interceptions attached to that stat line, because that's Josh Allen. That's that gunslinger. Brett Favre was that. We loved Brett Favre for that until he started getting into other that. Stay here. Gunslinger. We've loved those in the NFL. We've always loved the gunslinger in the NFL. Dak is the same way. It's just that Dak plays for America's team. So when you gunsling and you gunsling well, you will be praised. But when you turn the ball over, when your QBR down there in the 30s, when you can't make it out the divisional round, when you keep getting beat in the divisional round by the same team year after year after year, then we don't want no more gunslinger. Now we just want you to come to work with your hard hat on and make something happen. Now we passed the gunslinger, and we're here now with Josh Allen. We're past the gunslinger talk now. We don't want to see gunslinger. That's who he is, like I said, but we passed that. Oh, the new age gunslinger. Nope, you turning the ball over too damn much now. You are the reason, people say, you the reason the team is in the position they're in. However, I think if you ask most people, they'd say Josh Allen is about between 5 and 10, top 5 and 10 in the league. So where would the Bills go from here? What do they do? He just ain't going to stop turning the ball over overnight. Look on the other side, Zach Wilson. A motherfucker ain't just going to change overnight. So you kind of stuck with this. Stephon Diggs, he came to town in 2019. It's 2023. It's not working. I'm not saying get him out of town. Maybe bring someone else into town. Who knows? The Bills have been extremely disappointing this year at 5-5. They are second place in the AFC East, only in front of the Jets by a game. And if the Jets happen to win this game, they own the tiebreaker over the Bills. If the Bills don't make it into the playoffs because they lose the tiebreaker to the Jets and Zach Wilson, I ain't going to keep talking about this shit. Look, I'm picking the Jets to win this game solely based on the defense. Put the Bills out of their misery. They got enough problems this year, and they need to address them all. The Jets are going to win this game 17-14. That's it. 17-14 Jets. New York Jets over the Bills 17-14.